It feels so good to be back. What up, y'all? Welcome back to episode tres, three, however else you want to say it. Episode 3 of the WAM Club Podcast. As y'all already know, I'm the host. I'm just the one in the middle. We got my boy Ant. Say what up, Ant, on the cams.
What's up, y'all?
And we got Brandon, who is not cammed up, and he's going to owe us some shots later. Say
What up?
what
What
up.
up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
All right. So, since the last time we were here, we honestly a lot has happened, right? We had what 3 games since the last time we've been here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 games. I don't know. I just zoned out, but we 3 games since we last been here. So here's the thing, right?
man. You trying to
They
talk
owe
around
me.
it? Go ahead, line.
They
Nope,
owe
no.
me
Go ahead,
too.
line it up, bro.
Look, I'm gonna get there.
Try
Don't
to
worry
talk.
about me.
Try to take
They
10
owe me
minutes to get
two.
into it. Nah, line it up, dog.
They owe me two a piece because they lost two because the Mavs lost 2 games.
Word.
However, also I owe them two. I'm gonna tell you why. If you go back to episode 1, we made a bet. Every game that the Celtics lose, I will take one matching both of them. So that's how I got to two. The Celtics lost 1 game, I take two. If they lose again on Monday, then I take two more. But it ain't gonna happen. Celtics don't let me down. So I mean, I guess without further ado, wait. Hold on, time out. Y'all, by the way,
He's
make
still
sure
waiting.
y'all
Look at
put
him.
in the comments, that Brandon owes us two. So the next time he cams up, he owes us at least two. So if the Celtics lose on Monday, Brandon owe us three the next time. And if he don't do it on the next Sunday or the next time y'all see the episode, he got interest. So it's gonna be a +1 until he got to get it done.
A +1, a
Cause he
whole
tried to,
additional
because he
one.
tried to back out. He tried to
Ain't
back
no.
out, and he tried to make us do it with a beer. He was like, "I'm gonna just do it with a beer."
I
No,
I
we want them
I
shots.
have it be known. I have it be known. I said I shotgun one on cam film. Just for y'all. Just to do it. Right. But no. That's not good enough. It's okay. I'll take my shots. I'll do it with
What's
That
that?
ain't hard liquor.
What's
I'll
the
do it
That
with
famous
ain't
first
hard
Flagrant.
liquor.
Jason Heed? Mm-mm, nope. But yeah, man. All right, look. So, and also, I'm just abiding by the rules. So, Brandon wanted me to take 2 shots instead of a double. So I'm gonna do my one. I'm gonna pour and get another one. Y'all ready?
Oh, is
Salute.
mine a
Cheers.
double?
No, mine is no.
Oh, okay.
But you do gotta do
It's
Wait.
the
two.
same kind of glass. Yeah, I'm doing two still.
All right, bet.
Seeing he okay, all of a sudden, see, I'll have it be known that he said that one of those is a double shot. I just don't believe it.
Okay. Oh, look. All right, look.
I
Here you go.
can. I'm pouring it. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's what I'm saying.
It look like it.
I, trust. I know. And you don't worry about us. Let the non bet abiders sit in the back and be quiet for a second while us
All right.
bet abiders do our due diligence. Okay.
I have it be
We
known.
ain't gonna
I'm
talk
clicked
about me
back
just
right now.
looping the same first shot.
Nah, this
He's
one got more. This one got more.
this man taking these 3-4
Woo.
shots over here.
Now that we took our shots, now we could really get into what we're talking about. So obviously, all the games went down. A lot happened. Brandon, let's talk about the Celtics. Of course, they had a big lead. Mavs went on a 20-2 run. Jason Kidd called timeout, and for whatever reason, that looked like it killed all the momentum. Um, what happened? Let's talk about it. Go ahead, Brandon.
I mean, it looks like the Mavs finally showed up. More than anything, their role players are just playing with a lot more like emphasis, and they were like a lot of people. There was like a big emphasis on like Luka just having a low assist game or just taking a lot of shots. When like I think like one game he had like 21 shots, which isn't like a lot comparative to what he could be taking and everything like that. I just think that they're sprinting a little more. Like Derek Lively found out that he's faster than all of the centers on the Celtics, so he can just if he just runs hard to the rim, he could just be there before them. Which is I don't know. I guess it took 3 games to figure that out. But like towards the end of game 3, I could kind of see that the Mavs had just something. They were coming up with something. That's why they were staying competitive in a game that even though it wasn't that close, they were still like in it. And then they took that momentum into winning game 4. So that's just what I've seen.
And go ahead. Any thoughts on Game 3? Anything that you've seen, or you want to
Uh,
comment about Game 3 in general?
I think when in game 3 when they was going on that run, it was kind of like a combination of things. I think it was a combination of guys realizing that they needed to step up and that like this series will be over early if they don't decide to actually play, and a combination of actually making the same shots that they were missing the previous games. So it's kind of like for me watching the games, it hasn't really looked like too much has changed offensively for Dallas. Like they kind of changed the way they approach the pick and roll because obviously like the Celtics have been able to guard it like pretty much effectively every game. So it's like they're kind of like giving different looks with that each time down. But outside of that, it's just kind of like they were just hitting a little bit more shots. But in game 4, it kind of that's kind of the main reason why they won that game because they finally started hitting the shots they were taking. And so there wasn't as many turnovers, it wasn't the Celtics getting as many rebounds, getting out to transition. Because I mean, period point blank, the Celtics in transition is dangerous. Like you got a bunch of high percentage 3-point shooters on that team, and if you look at the numbers, like they don't care about missing. Like they'll shoot. They shooting every open shot they get. They taking every single one of them. So I don't know. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to look at.
I would say that that Celtic stink is starting to really show itself.
Elijah, you
That's
muted.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Are you elaborate on that? So, are you saying that the Celtics play style is tough to watch?
No, I'm saying it's tough to play against the Celtics play style
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
because those guys like I mean on paper you look at it, it's like yeah man that's a really good team, but the way they playing this Dallas team because the teams previous obviously people there has been like some people question whether or not they real because period point blank every team they played the best two players have been hurt. But coming into this series against Dallas, like they kind of showing that it don't really matter who on the floor, they handling business regardless.
Go ahead. What you say, Brandon?
I was saying that Celtic stink is starting to rear its ugly head in. Need them to close that series. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just
That's
saying.
that's
Look, I needed
interesting.
to stick around.
That's so funny. But that's interesting that you said that, Brandon, because I actually have a question for you. Um, did the Celtics answer any of your questions? I know in episode 1 you made a bunch of comments that like clearly nobody agrees with. But you said the Celtics have the stink. You said they can't win close games. Um, and it seems like I don't know. It seems like to me, I'm gonna just be honest. It looks like the Celtics are literally playing to prove you wrong because every single thing that you have said, they have won and done everything except for one thing that um you said that they couldn't do or they weren't capable of doing.
Well, I mean, I still think I'm right. They still have failed to close out the series. And in the last two games, up to this point, the Mavs have won the fourth quarter in every one of these games. Which is like that's I don't I mean yeah they're up 3-0, but the Mavs have still won the fourth quarters, which I think is still kind of telling. This is they're gonna have like this will always be a prove me wrong team just because of what I've seen already. And because I root for the Miami Heat. So it's just kind of until they show it to me, I can't believe it.
So you just a hater at this point. That's what it sounds like. It's like
Nobody hating. I'm just saying what
I'm
I've
not
seen.
I'm
I'm
giving you
just saying what I've seen. Because think about the last 4 years. It's just that whenever they have shown up to me one time in the past 4 years, and that's when they beat the Bucks on the road in Game 7. That's the only time I could think of. Other than that, I just don't think they've risen to the occasion. And whenever it starts to get mucked up or they get hit in the mouth and everything like that, they can't seem to stay on their feet. Right now, they have a if they and I'm not saying they will throw the series. I just can kind of I can see it going a lot further than just 6 games. That's just what I'm saying. Um,
how
it's
much
it's
further they gonna
it's them
go.
it's them
Six,
fighting
10?
against themselves
They
right
gonna
now.
play
It's
10
them
games?
Bro, it's them fighting against themselves right now. That's my whole point. Is that they should be whooping Dallas's ass. They're the better team, straight up.
They up 3-1.
And they're up 3-1, but they haven't won the fourth quarters. They lost these last two games, or they lost the fourth these last two games, and they got straight up. They got embarrassed last game. I need them to close it out. They need to close it out in order. And until I see that, until I see Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown with the trophy in their hand, crying on TV, I'm not gonna believe it. Sorry.
I mean, I have to give pushback. I'm sorry, I just do. And maybe Ant was about to give pushback. I don't know, but
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
yeah, I got you, Siri. Hold on. Um, regarding I got to give pushback on that. The Celtics. You say the Celtics won the fourth quarter. I mean, the Mavericks won the fourth quarter of all these games. I will
Yeah.
argue it don't matter because they won all the games. One game was a blowout, so it's just like, okay, you won the fourth quarter, so what? You still got beat by 15. Who cares? And the Mavs. Granted, the Mavs went on a 20-2 run at the end of game 3. Like, awesome. Shout out to them.
Right.
My pushback on that is that, like, it was still a close game and they lost. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you win the fourth quarter if you lose the game. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it matters if the series is still ongoing to me.
Yeah, but they're down 3-1. So, like, here's my pushback on that is that, like, you say that, like, you can't believe in the Celtics. They haven't risen to the occasion. However, they were up 3-0 until a couple days ago. They were up 3-0 in the closeout game until a couple days ago.
Look, until the NBA is advertising that 2024 Boston Celtics championship DVD, I'm not believing it.
So you just not going. You just gonna hate until they win, and then you'll be like, all right, cool.
I'm like Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog sitting in this chair waiting to see it. That's me right now. That's the best analogy for how I am. You got to show me.
Go ahead,
Ant. Man, look. Like I said, I have a very different perspective of the Celtics now. Honestly,
please give
I
us
gained
one.
I gained a lot of respect for them watching these last 3 games because the game they won, like, of course, shouts out to the Mavericks for the game they won. Like, they started making their shots, but man, looking at the first 3 games, it's more of the same in the sense of they handling business. Like, I respect the fact that they come out on the floor and they handle business. Like, they plan like they want to win. And the funniest part about it to me is that people are trying to, like, bring this big magnifying glass on, like, Luka's defense, right? In which case, it is bad this series. It's horrible. But I think people are forgetting why it's horrible is because he's hurt. And the Celtics know that. So that's why they're putting him on an island. They putting him in situations where, just like how Luka plays, the 3-second rule, they're waiting until the big has to make a move to get out of the paint, drive on Luka, change direction, because literally his knee will not allow him to keep up. It's a basket. And so they running that up on them. And it's just kind of like the only thing Dallas can do is figure out how to get stops through the injury. Because they figure out how to score through the injury. So you got to figure out how to get stops through the injury. And that's really the only way they have any type of light at the end of the tunnel in this series is if they figure out a way to completely get a large amount of stops in the next 3 games on a team that is handling business.
What do you say to the people who would say, hey, I don't want to hear the Luka's knee is hurt when he's on defense because on offense, when he step back, tweet, like none of that.
No, I
The knee,
agree.
the
I
knee's
agree.
not hurt
You own the
then. The knee
court.
does not
You
apply.
own the
I'm just
court.
asking.
You own the court. No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. You own the court. That's why I don't bring that up as like a y'all wouldn't be winning if he wasn't. Nah, bro, you on the court. Just like any player that has a weakness to guarding one side. That's what this is. There are guys that they have trouble with the left-hand shooters. They have trouble with the left-hand dominant guys. This is the same situation. Because of his injury, he's having trouble it's going to a certain direction. So they're gonna capitalize on that. That's basketball. You stupid if you don't. Just keeping
Yeah,
her
in the
100%
finals for
honest. You
sure.
For
stupid
sure.
if you don't. Right? Like
Yeah, for
you
sure.
you want a championship. It ain't nice. Nobody has ever won a championship being nice. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I low key want to piggyback off that because
Go ahead.
that I think there's been like a lot of talk about Luka's like foul, like the way he complains to the ref every game. I mean, in the worst times I've seen it were like in the Clippers series this year. Another series where he was like really hurt and basically hanging on by a thread. I think the more frustrated he gets at himself, the more the more shit he talks to the refs. So I think like that's not an excuse for it because it is really
Mhm.
annoying. But I mean, I just kind of imagine how frustrated the dude is, especially if he's getting cooked on defense too. You know what I mean? It's the finals.
You gotta pick your spot smarter though. Every play ain't worth arguing over. Every single time they miss a foul, that shit is not worth it. Now on the and one last quarter, yeah, that's fine, completely understandable. But like, bro, this is the second time they touched you in the first quarter, bro. You really mad? You really yelling at this man?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. You putting them against you. Like, we're not gonna act like referees don't sometimes emotionally make calls. It happens. And when you bitch at this man from minute one until the end, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some calls that should go in your favor that probably don't. It's like I understand because you getting the treatment all superstars get of they getting extra physical with you because you're good. But you got to pick your spots. You've been playing through it up to this point. You've made it to the finals playing through it. You made it to the NBA playing through it as a kid. You got to figure it out, bro. It don't change.
Yeah.
Man been in pro since he was 14, right? 14, 15.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I so like I agree with both y'all are saying. For me personally, like Luca's game is like almost a perfect basketball game. It's just when he when he is like complaining, it's almost hard to watch him
Hmm.
play. It's really hard to it's like every play, like literally every yo. He's like and I think that impacts his I do think it indirectly impacts his defense. I'm gonna tell you why.
Hmm.
Um so let me figure out the word just perfectly. Being in a flow state, right? When you're locked into a game, when we play in the game, when we're gaming together, anything, when you're locked in to something, you're dialed in. And then imagine if something happens off here over yonder, right? And you have to pay attention to that for just a second. And it throws your attention off to what you
Hmm.
should be locked in on. So he takes instead of just playing and just hooping, he takes time, talks to the ref. He comes back and is trying to lock into a game, and everything, like, especially like this series, is literally been a game of inches being exploited. So that 1 second he's taking a turn to look to the ref, he literally is getting right. They're pushing. Like, all right, his man is like, all right, I see him turn his shoulder, I'm going, I'm sprinting.
Yeah, and those are
So then they're
major
getting
seconds
back,
against a good transition team.
and he's
Major seconds.
always the last person back on defense. Always. He's always the last person back. And like you can't tell me that like even with Maxi Kleber, you're not gonna tell me that Maxi Kleber is faster than Luca. I'm not hearing that. I'm
I
not
mean,
hearing that.
I think that
I'm
really
not jacking
depends
that.
on where he's on the floor because if he's
I
taking a
don't.
shot at the rim, of course he's gonna be the
Nah.
last one back.
Yeah, but if Maxi Kleber is also getting trying to go for
Yeah.
the rebound, and he's not,
It's
why
a
if they're
difference
both in the
between
same
being last
spot?
one back because of your shot and last one back because you talking to the ref though. One of those things you way out of position. You last
Yeah,
one back because of your shot. You just guard last dude up the court. But you talk to the ref. Last dude up the court then ran to the corner because he know you talk to the ref. So now it's
yeah,
open three.
yeah.
I wonder what he actually is upset about on a lot of these drives anyway, too. Because I would,
They beating his
That's what
ass.
I'm
you know
saying.
they lucky. It's
They
kind of
beating his
crazy
ass.
because
We know what he upset about.
we
They are
we've
beating
never
his
had him
ass.
mic'd up. Have we ever had
I'm.
Luca mic'd up?
I
Bro,
don't think
Luka
they
been getting
want
his
to.
ass beat since the OKC series. They beating his ass.
I feel
They
like
let Lou Dort beat his ass that whole
yeah,
OKC
I
series.
agree with that. I don't think that anybody on the Celtics is being anywhere near as physical with him as Lou Dort has been.
Yeah, not at all. Not at
For him to
all.
complain, and even any player complain. Like I love LeBron, but the nigga complained too much. Like any player, like even when Jokic used to do it, I used to be like, bro, like you're complaining. Joel Embiid, like you could go, the list go on and on of like when players
Jimmy Butler doesn't
complain,
do it.
Figure it out.
like it gets annoying to watch. Like it's like, bro, like shut up. Like, bro, you getting paid millions of dollars. Like you're not gonna get every single call. Like if you were playing in a rec or if you were at the gym just hooping,
Right.
bro,
You
like
get your bucket. You get
yeah,
your bag. You get angry. You get your basket. We want to see
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah. You get a bucket, you don't call a foul. Because guess what? If you call foul, you don't get the point if you score. So call your fouls, Luka. You'll get no points. And let's see how that
He's
goes.
trying to.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
think
the
he's
pretty.
trying
Yeah.
to
problem.
call it.
That's
That's how
I,
he play it.
um, I mean, and to that effect, um, like Luca, he puts himself in the situations where like he's not gonna get the benefit of the doubt. Um, Going into like rounding and finishing, talking about game three. Obviously, he fouled out at the end of the game trying to take a stupid foul.
yeah.
Even if that was a charge, if it actually was a charge, I can almost certainly say that like they was still not giving him that call
No,
because he
you don't
has
go
like
for that with 5 fouls. You know,
you
under
don't go
no
for that. And
circumstances do you go for that.
let me put it in a different way so that people can really understand what's going on and what happened in this game, right? And then we got
During
to
them
move on.
coming back too.
If you were at your job working and all you heard was somebody, a coworker, telling you what you not doing all the time, just all you, hey, why you ain't do this? Why you ain't do that? Why you ain't do why? Like if somebody is sitting there telling you that all the time, would you not be annoying? Would you not tune them out?
Hmm.
So then when they actually
Hmm.
need something, you be like, oh damn, I ain't hear you. Shit.
Right.
I can't help you. You will find every reason not to help that person. Am I
I mean,
lying?
I hear
Nah, I
you.
mean that's what people do. That is
That
what
is
people
true.
do.
I hear you on that too, but in this play, in the play where he fouled out, Jalen Brown did hook him, and I think
Probably.
that they would have made that a play on, except he fell down after. If he didn't fall down, they weren't gonna call anything because like Jalen Brown hooked him and then Luka fell. Like that's just a collision.
Yeah, but they also running in transition after a turnover. Why are you trying to take a charge here? Just
At the
follow
perimeter.
or
No,
like stay in front.
I'm trying to say that he wasn't trying to take a charge. I think he was just trying to impede his path because you're right. He couldn't go towards that. I think it was
No,
his
he
right
tried to
knee or his
set his
left
Yeah,
knee.
feet. He tried to set his feet.
yeah, you gotta go look at that again. He tried this.
He
He set his feet and he put his hand like he was in charge position. He just didn't move his feet.
because that's why he told them to challenge it. That's why he told the bench to challenge it.
Yeah, he tried it. Yeah,
And it was just like, I mean, it's one of them situations where it's like, yeah, bro, he probably did charge, right? It might have been a charge. Some people could say it was a charge. Some people feel like it's a foul on Luka. Regardless, 3 minutes left in the game. Y'all went from being down double digits to closing in on single digits. Kyrie got it going. This is not the time to get foul out. This is not the time to put yourself in a situation where that can happen. And he had people behind him. So it wasn't even like he was the last guy in front of Jalen Brown. It was like there was a smarter play to be played there than what happened. It was like he shouldn't have went for that. And that's just one of those things, though. I think that's one of those things he's gonna grow from as a player. I think that's one of them things. Even he looks back like that was out of anger. Like I was upset about what the fuck was going on, and I made the wrong decision. I shouldn't have done that. I know next time because and that's the funniest part about this series to me. It really looks just like when the Celtics played the Warriors of like
yeah,
the more experienced team. Because it's literally like the things that the Celtics are doing that are winning is just literally like this is a team that's been in the finals. They know what it takes to win. Because if you've been in the finals, you know It does not matter who gets the open shot. You get an open shot, shoot it, and with the intention of making it. And that's how the Celtics are playing. But when Dallas get the ball, some of those guys, some of the younger guys, this their first time there. They don't want to mess up. So they're not taking shots that they've normally taken in the regular season. They're kind of limiting the possession. They're trying to make sure everything counts. They're overthinking it. And this ain't a situation to overthink. This is a situation to play to the best of your ability, whatever that is. And that's what the Celtics are doing. They out there because the last game they won, the high man was Drew and Derek White.
Yeah.
I think Derek White probably hit the most threes this whole series out of everybody playing damn near. It's like, hey man, they plan to win. These boys, I'm gonna keep saying that, man. They handling business. I respect it. They handling business.
I just imagine how hard it must be to score in the finals after a bunch like the world's like best basketball nerds are put into a room to figure out how to stop you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just, I mean, exploited weaknesses. But I I think y'all have perfectly transitioned into Game 4 because, I mean, honestly, the Celtics got cooked. Like they
Yeah,
just got.
yeah.
I don't really have much to say about
Derek
the
Lively
Celtics.
hit a 3.
They got cooked. Like Derek Lively was hitting threes. Tim Hardaway Jr. came alive. Like
Five
it
of them
just seemed
things.
like Dante Exum. They found something with Dante Exum. Everything you can say, like positively, that the Mavericks can do right to win games, like they pretty much did. Even all the way down to the conversation we had about Luka and the foul baiting and the crying and
Mhm.
like there was none of that. It was absolutely none of that. Um, I mean, go ahead, Brandon. Like, tell us what you think about Game 4. What'd you see? What happened? What's your reaction? What happened?
No, the Mavs were playing like a team that still believes they can win. They like their role players showed up in the real way. And that's what they've been looking for the entire time. Because at the end of game 3, Kyrie and Luka both had like over 30 or close to it. And in this one,
I
there
think
was a lot
Kyrie
more
had like
balanced scoring.
21.
Yeah, there was a lot more balanced scoring. Now, I think that the role players are getting the ball and they're doing what they're supposed to do with it. They're it's like it's less heliocentric and more of a team strategy. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think that they've gotten Kyrie more involved with just doing pick and rolls and pulling up Al Horford, pulling up Xavier Tillman, and just putting them in a spot to have to defend him, which we just hadn't seen him a lot over the first 3 games, or the first 2 games, and I think that was really successful for him. He's scored more just in the last 2 games than I think he had in his first 2 games combined. So I think that's good for him.
Go ahead, Ant.
Yeah. I mean, game 4 is just kind of like I said, the role players came alive. Like Tim Hardaway gave him 5. Derek Lively hit a 3. That was funny to me to see. Like,
It was perfect form too.
yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, it was smooth. It was like, I, whatever. Hey man, keep doing your job. But I mean, the funny part about it is it's almost like they took to Kyrie's message of like when they asked him what was his plan going into game 4, and he was like he gonna get the 50 cal, the bazooka, he everything ready because he already know is this a go home. And it seemed like the rest of the team, those young guys, they bought into the fact of like, hey man, we gotta shoot. Like we gotta play. Like we don't have no choice. Like either what we doing ain't working, we gotta do something. And for me it's weird because it's almost like y'all didn't feel that way coming in. Like we here. Like you never know when you get back here. Like people, it's crazy to see somebody make it back here multiple times. So it's like, I mean, you don't never know if you gonna get this chance again. Like it's showtime. Every one of these
Yeah.
games. It's like you can't wait till you about to be eliminated to play. You gotta play from game 1. So I
Yeah.
mean, we gonna see the rest of these games going forward. And can they keep that going? Are the Celtics gonna let them keep that going like that? They gonna lose these next 3 games straight? Cause man, I don't know. That'd be crazy. Losing 4 straight in the finals would be crazy. That would be nuts.
Yeah,
Do
it's like
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I ain't got
I
nothing.
was I was gonna follow up with that and say, do y'all think that the Celtics, or not the Celtics, the Mavericks, will they be able to maintain or sustain or take anything from game 4 and use it to win more games and potentially make history and win 4 straight games and win a series? Is that a possibility? Like like what do y'all take away from, like, they at one point they were up 48 points. Like,
Going back to Boston though.
yeah. So do y'all think that there's a chance, starting with you, Brandon, because I kind of cut you off, but um do you think that like, is there something that you could take away from it, that they would have the chance to bring
No,
this
I don't
series
think they'll
back?
do it. I don't think they'll do it. It's like it's so rare. Like I think, like even the times people come back from 3-1, it's like on the road. It's been like 2 teams. Like at home, it's maybe like 5 teams ever. They're not gonna do it, but it would be cool to see. I mean, but for them to do it, they would just need more of the same from the last game, which is playing with that emphasis and really trying to really just being more athletic than the Celtics. More so, I think it's just about how their centers playing. Just having good games from both Lively and Gafford.
Mhm.
Or that's kind of what their advantage was in that last game. I don't think Horford or Tillman can keep up with them. They're both bigger and more athletic than them. So as long as they're sprinting, as long as they're playing hard, as long as they're Derek Jones Jr. and Josh Green, all of them are running their lanes, like and actually running them and not like jogging, and they should be straight. So I mean, I think they definitely can make it a series. I've been seeing Mavs in 7 this whole time, so I would like to see that happen.
Bet you would. Go ahead, Ant.
Uh, yeah, man. It's hopefully they can take this momentum because you definitely need it going into Boston. Because in order to get a 4 game run back, you got to win 2 games in Boston. And as we've seen in this finals, that crowd they're giving the Celtics the energy they need to make some crazy shots. So it's gonna come down to, can y'all come into Boston with that same fire, that same attitude of, we don't care, we giving it everything we got, and is that gonna win the game? Because it's like, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to watch. Like I said, I'm still with Dallas too. I think it would be crazy if they ran that back. Like I would be in complete amazement if they were to find some way to win this series. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tough one. It's a tough one to win because looking at that Celtics team, I will say this though. I think for this series specifically, they should start Gafford. I think he in this series specifically, he has the aggression that they need from Derek Lively. Like I don't think Derek Lively is like gotten like get aggressively going for those attacks to the rim on the Celtics like he should be. Like they really need him to. But I think Gafford, he's done a great job of it since they picked him up. Of always like he dives to the rim. Even if the pass ain't coming in, he dives. He makes himself an available option every single time. And I think they need that right now, especially to help Kyrie and Luka. They need that bad.
Um, and back, I'm gonna give you a question right back at you, Ant. Um, do you think that the Celtics maybe sandbagged it a little bit, and
Yeah,
to get the home game, to close
yeah.
the game out at home on the home floor, playing with house money? And the reason why I asked, right, because it sounds good, it sounds poetic, right? Um, Winning the game in front of your fans, in front of your people, and I'm not gonna say it looked like they were like, you know what, we're gonna just start the game off and just see how it goes, and if we win, great, but if not, fuck it, we got home in Boston.
I think
Do you think they sandbagged it?
I think so. I feel like looking at it, just because the mutual respect there, like this whole series been going on, and you know how the media works. They
Hmm.
try to create narratives, try to plot people against each other, and none of these guys have been biting on it the whole series. Like every time anybody says anything about the other side, it starts with respect. So it's kind of like, I feel like they going for the gentleman sweep. We let y'all get the one, but they finna come back in Boston with plans on coming out firing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a a completely different like aura from Boston from this game from the last game. Because like you said, like I feel like it was like that. Not like they came in with the intention of like, oh, we'll give them this one, but it was like around halftime, looking at it, start looking. You got a guy on the bench who ain't really been playing all playoffs. He hit 5 threes. We can give him this one. We got it. We got it. When we get home. We give him this.
That's crazy that y'all would even suggest that out of the finals. There's no
I'm just
way.
asking.
There's no way
Hey
they're
man,
saying back
I'm just
in
calling
the
it like the
finals. You
look,
got to get
man.
that win. You got to get that win,
I
and
feel you,
then
but I
lose by
mean,
like 30s plus. Nah, that'd be that stink. That stink just like the Celtics stink. That would be that's the epitome of Celtic stink right there. Sandbagging a game 5 and then giving up 3 straight games. That'd be hilarious.
no, I'd say to give it up 3 straight. Nah, if they did that and gave up 3 straight, that would be wild. To just be like, nah, we got this, and then lose the next 3.
I mean, I'm just asking if they maybe sandbag the game. For those of y'all who don't know what sandbagging is, it's like, we gonna try, but if it don't go our way,
Right.
we'll
I
catch y'all next.
mean,
Like,
we
yeah,
we
it's
got
like
another game.
yeah, it's they're playing with house money, right? They know they have another game coming up, um, on Monday. They're like, you know what? We can get some rest. We
It's
just
that
chill.
Boston fan power.
Yeah, they get the Boston fan power, the crowd where I personally will never go to a Boston game, but hey.
I feel like they're a big part of why Kyrie didn't play well them first 2 games. Like personally, like I
So there
think
is
them people like really kind of like it bothered him a little bit.
a running meme, by the way, as we pivot into game 5 really quick. There is a running meme, and I did fact check it, and it is true that that is the first game that Kyrie has won against the Celtics in 14 games. So he is 1-13
Wow.
against them, or it's 1-12 or 1-13. But it is true that Kyrie has not won a game. That's the first game Kyrie has won against them since he stepped on the Leprechaun. That's the first game.
Mm,
Because remember, you got to think back, right? When they played against Boston, when the Nets played against Boston in the playoffs, they got swept that year. So that's 4. Um,
yeah.
and then
Oh
there were,
man.
of course, the regular season games, and the Celtics are a good regular season team, so they
Right. You already know what happened
look.
there.
So it looks like Kyrie broke the streak. So
Hey, sometimes all you need to do is just get the lid off that joint.
moving on into game 5. Brandon, what are some keys for the Celtics to win this game? As our resident Celtics hater, um, what are the keys for the Celtics to win this game and become NBA champions and get the stink off of them, as you keep saying?
They need to. They really need to. They need to close it out. They can't keep getting up on these leads and then giving them up or letting the Mavs play back into it. They just need to get up 15 and win the game like they've been doing against every other team for the rest of the season. Just go ahead and get their lead and maintain it. Do what's already been working for them. It's no more like I'm sorry, yo, but Tatum, you're not getting Finals MVP. You don't need to take that many shots, man. Sorry, like it's just not gonna happen. Like and just and then Brown, honestly, Brown is as long as Brown continues, of course, I think he's been pretty flawless. I haven't really seen him mess it up really at all. I mean, he makes sure he doesn't go left. Uh he hits it and he hits his shots when he do.
He didn't went
So
left for a couple posters. I don't know. That left hand looked good. It looked a lot better.
that, but at the end of the day, they just need to smart. They need to stay the course. They'll figure it out. I mean, Mavs, they finally played hard for the first time in 4 games. So, let's see if they can keep up that momentum. If not, then the Celtics should just walk away with it.
Go ahead. Anything else to
See,
add? What are the keys for the Celtics to win?
I got 2 ways I'm looking at this.
Hmm.
From because I like Kyrie, because Kyrie's like one of my favorite players to like watch play. Like from that perspective, I would love to see Dallas extend this series and make it a little more competitive. But from a realistic perspective, Celtics have only lost 3 games the entire playoffs. They've been handling business. I would not be surprised if they continue to handle business and went ahead and put that banner up tomorrow. But I still want Dallas to win. I'm gonna put that part out. Let's get that part out so we all know where I still stand. That I still want Dallas to win this series.
So if the Celtics win, right, does it change how this title run is viewed, how the team has been viewed, right? Because the narrative, it's not even a narrative. At this point, we could just say it's honestly true. The Celtics had a cupcake run. They had an easy path. You can only play who's in front of you. They just had a lighter competition. Does winning the championship against the Dallas Mavericks say anything as you could argue that maybe Dallas probably had the one of the tougher roads. Obviously they had a tougher road because
Yeah, oh
they
yeah,
came
for
through the
sure.
West. You know, they beat Minnesota, who
Had to
beat
beat the
Denver.
top 2
They
seeds.
beat the top. They beat the top 2 seeds, and they beat a tough Clippers team who was honestly favored to win the NBA championship. Um, and in this fashion, right? If they win in 5 games, does this speak? Does this correct the narrative? What does this say about the Boston Celtics if they win tomorrow?
They're gonna be calling this a Mickey Mouse championship in a couple years. Watch. I'm not even hating. It's been an easy route for him. Like it's like this is very similar to that Bucks championship where everyone got hurt up until the finals where they finally played a healthy team. Um, but you still gotta play the people that are in front of you. So um, good on them for winning it. They should be in position to win more if they do. So
Yes,
I think. Well, firstly, that's crazy to you bring up the Bucks championship. Like my man ain't put 50 on their head and get the game winning block in the game 7 on a way better Suns team. So that's crazy. And the people that they had to beat going into that almost lost to Kevin, but that's neither here nor there. But as far as like, uh, I don't know. I think if they need to win, they need it. I think it's crazy to me that people disrespect the championship by saying because of who they had to play. Because at the end of the day, they didn't just win those games. They've only lost 3 games all playoffs. Prior to being in the finals, they lost 2 games. Most teams, as we've seen, Indiana was playing that same Indiana team that they beat, that they only lost 1 game to. They lost to Bobby Portis and Patrick Beverly and Chris Middleton. So, like we if we let's talk about everybody not handle business. We're gonna talk about people handling business. Let's talk about the fact that they wouldn't even have been there if Jalen Brunson wasn't hurt. So it's like you can't sit and nitpick at this championship when at the end of the day you have to be a good team to go against these teams who are hurt and send them home. Not be out here 6 and 7 games with they first 2 bet. No, people got sent home. Oh, your man's ain't here. You needed him. He home. That's what happened. They handled business. People gotta respect that. Because at the end of the day, these are all
Well,
NBA players. These are the best. These are the so-called best players in the world in the NBA. So it doesn't matter who's on the floor. These are the best players in the world at basketball, and they got beat by this team. This team would have won a championship beating y'all. And that's what it is. It's a championship. Championship is a championship. Like people trying to discredit it, like that shit is crazy to me. Like, because it takes so much getting to this point, no matter who you have to beat to get there. It doesn't matter what team in the NBA you have to beat to get there. It takes a lot to win the amount of games you have to win to get an NBA championship. And people gotta like cut the disrespect, man. Like for real. Because I'm in agreement with Kevin Garnett. Like, these are NBA players. These guys, these same guys everybody talking about ain't nobody, or the guys everybody been having trouble with all regular season. The Nemhard kid from Indiana, he didn't just get his name in that series of them having a hard time stopping him from scoring. That's been what people been dealing with all season from him. He come off the bench and he make it happen. Jalen Brunson, bro, Jalen Brunson damn near averaged like almost 40 for the whole playoffs. Like I didn't see him have a bad game till he hurt his hand.
That's my
So like
MVP.
man, look, people gotta cut the disrespect. They gotta cut it. A championship is a championship. They gotta cut it.
Yeah, you can only play the people that are in front of you. But
Literally.
it's just that people what they like to do is they like to compare runs compared to other ones. And there are similarities amongst them. I mean, like if everyone gets hurt on the way to a championship and that also happened to a different team that was able to also go all the way and win the title. I mean, you can say that, okay, yeah, the route was a little easier. You do, but again, at the end of the day, you still gotta beat who's in front of you. That's what I'm not trying to take away from. Just from the difficulty of competition. I mean, there's a ton of runs we can nitpick and do all this, that, and the other too. Because, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You're still one. Context. The context doesn't matter really. The further away from the championship you are.
What are going to Brandon? Sorry. What are some keys for the Mavs to extend the series? Do you think they extend the series? This, what do they have to do to
I mean,
win
keep playing
tomorrow?
hard. Keep
Yeah,
playing
we kind
hard,
of talked
yo.
about it a bit.
Yeah, just keep playing hard. I mean, that's what they got to. They got to stay desperate. I mean, they can't mess up. They cannot mess up. So, I mean, with just that being said, they just need more of the same. I'm expecting more of the same, honestly. I'm expecting the same similar rotation. I'm expecting players to come in and understand their role more. Um, but at the end of the day, it might not matter because the Celtics are just that good. And if they ever get Kristaps back, then I just don't think they really have a chance. So I
Yeah.
mean, like, they need to keep start part of the course right now. Make sure they're winning these games, and winning these possessions, and um, playing hard, and more than anything, just staying on the boards. I think they're the better rebounding team, and I think I remember saying that back on episode one, just that they need to be on them. They need to crash the boards. Everyone needs to crash the boards. And they don't need three people running back in transition. They need three people on the boards and one at half court, um, with like just to get back on transition.
And same thing. What are the keys? We talked about it a little bit, but give some keys for the
Uh
Mavs to extend the series.
yeah, I agree. Rebounding is definitely going to be a key factor here, but I think the biggest one from my perspective is gonna have to be defense.
Mhm.
They got to do something they not really known for doing, and they're going to have to get an outrageous amount of stops in order to not only extend the series, but to take this series. They're going to have to like come with it on the defensive side of the ball, because we know what they're capable of, like scoring. But a lot of the guys in their team, it's one of those. It's the young guy thing where it's like there's a lot of guys on that team that they shine in transition. But
Mhm.
playing against this Boston team, the only way you gonna get out in transition is you have to get stops, and they are few and far between because Boston got so many efficient scores. So it's gonna have to come from the defensive side of the ball. They're gonna have to figure out a way to get stops, and it's gonna be tough because I think because of how well Jalen Brown's been playing, I don't think they've really had to see like Tatum dip off into his bag for real yet. And that's kind of scary when you think about it like that. He ain't like, because Jalen Brown has been able to like click it on, get it going, and keep them above water. And so it's like you get in that close situation, and we gonna see what happens. Are those same jump shots falling for Jason Tatum? Is he gonna come down and start missing them like he has in the past? It's gonna all come down to what we gonna see. What can the Dallas Mavericks do defensively to stagnate the Celtics?
All right, that's good shit. I mean, that's honestly good. And give me your prediction. Who wins tomorrow?
My
In a
prediction
light
is
why? In a light why?
tomorrow. Tomorrow I got Dallas winning tomorrow because Kyrie's my dog, but also because going into it they have the momentum, and I think that they have they back up against the wall. Like that fire's been lit under them of like you're gonna have to leave it out on the court. You're gonna have to play the best you can, and you're gonna have to be all right with the outcome, whatever that is. But I think the whole Dallas Mavericks team, I think it from my perspective looking at it, it seemed like Jason Kidd like a really good coach of making sure his players understand him. I feel like that entire locker room understands what he's trying to get out of guys, what he wants from guys, what he wants them to do on the floor. Because it's like that's one thing about Dallas. You don't really see a lot of like miscommunications or like wrong spot stuff. It's like either a turnover or somebody makes a stop happen. But it's like it's not a lot of hey, you were supposed to be. It's like nah, like everybody kind of understand what they're supposed to be doing. So it's like I got Dallas. I got Dallas winning.
Brandon, same question. Who you got winning as the resident Celtics hater? Who you got winning game 5? In a light why?
Uh, I flip flop back and forth on this because I don't
You can't.
necessarily.
Let's
Well,
go.
no, I'm talking. Damn, let me talk. Like, I flip flop back and forth on this because I think the Mavs are hungry. I don't know. I think the Celtics take game 5. I think they don't really want to make this a series. I think Missoula's a sicko, so he's gonna have them watching. Like I say, he makes them watch UFC fights and see how
Yeah, I
fighters
seen that.
react when pushed back. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them. I don't
Yeah.
see them not bouncing back. I mean, if it's a close game though, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like even through the game, I'm like, oh, the Mavs might win. Oh, the Suns might win. I don't know if it's a close game. I got the Mavs. If the Celtics come out and do what they're supposed to do, they should win by 15. Like
Okay. So you standing on your non-answer. Thank you.
I got no. I say Celtics. I say Celtics.
You said if the Celtics are up 15, you got them. But if it's a close game, then you got the Mavericks.
It's,
That's not an answer. We
no,
need an
I
answer.
started it.
Who you got?
I started it by saying the Celtics are probably going to take it. They're probably going to take it home. So I'm
All
gonna
right.
stick on. I'm gonna stay on that.
All right. So, okay. So you got this being the closeout. You already know I got this
Uh-huh.
being the closeout. Celtics don't let me down. All right. So again, same thing. Same. It seems like this has been a recurring thing, but that's okay. The Caitlin Clark versus Lil Reese, aka Angel Reese rivalry is it keeps going, it's keep growing. So they went from college straight to the W. Um, they had a game. They just had a game. Um, Caitlin Clark hit a dagger,
Hmm.
absolute dagger, and sent them home, sent them packing. Um, so the Indiana Fever won the game, obviously, but most of the talk is surrounded around the flagrant foul. Um, would y'all like to go ahead? Actually, go ahead and tell me what you think about the foul, the game. Go ahead.
I think it was a good game. First of all, like I didn't get to see the whole game, but I got to catch like catch most of the first half. I think it was a good game. Like and even with the flagrant, I get why it's a flagrant because by the rules, contact above the shoulders, yada yada. I get it. We are everybody watching that. If you know anything about basketball, we all know what the fuck we saw. She thought she had a block. She didn't. Caitlin extended, got away from her. She hits her in the head. Making a big deal out of it is kind of crazy, especially when it's a basketball play. It wasn't like we've seen before where like, hey man, why'd he move his arm like that? Or like people getting thrown. It's like, nah, bro, like she thought she had a block. She gets a lot of those. she gets blocks. Go figure she thought she had one. She fouled somebody. Like it happens. I don't know. They gotta chill out with that. But I will say it's funny that Caitlyn has beat her the last 3 times they played. She beat her the last time they played in college, and Indiana has beat this guy twice this year. But Angel Reese beat her when it mattered the most. So that one's going. It's a good rivalry to watch. I will say that like every last one of their games is entertaining. Like you will be entertained if you watch a Caitlin Clark Angel Reese game, or not even when playing against each other, just in general. Like I don't know. I think people need to pay a lot more attention to like how they play. Like their plays are like they're really good. Like not even just them. Like a lot of women in W. Like people need to start paying a lot more attention to, and not just for this fake drama that people try to create.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, I was gonna say, um, I mean, the Fever are definitely the worst team, but I think that the they are just making their shots more than the Sky for sure. Because the Sky they shoot like a horrible percentage, like they just don't shoot very well in general, which is why they're not very good. But they have a strong like defensive presence, which is why they're in all these games. Um, I mean, there was a lot of mistakes. Like Caitlin Clark had a ton of attention on her. So like there was just moments, especially like, towards the end of the game, where she was just like she can kind of get whatever she wanted. She was throwing like entry passes through like through 2, 3 people into players for easy layups and stuff like that. I mean, Leah Boston was really hitting some tough buckets. But I mean, in all this, like the rivalry is kind of crazy because I think Angel Reese might win Rookie of the Year because her rebound, like she's already like a good rebounder, already a good defender. She like reminds me a lot of like Evan Mobley. With just how she like defends and how I mean, I think she's a better rebounder for
Yeah.
sure, and she has a lot more like aggressiveness to her. So it's kind of like what we want out of Mobley, but um, like she's gotten better throughout the season, and that rebounding was there from day one. And like as a Sky fan, as seen like as we lost our front court over the last 3 years, being able to draft 2 front court players in the top like 5, and they're coming in and making an immediate impact, is really good to see. I could definitely see them in like 2, 3 years really going all the way with it. They just need better guard player at the moment. I'm not saying who we have isn't great, but it's obvious that we need someone to really set the table for us in a real way. We're running combo guards at the 1 and 2. Like it's clear that they're not game managers. It's clear that they don't really know how to get players a shot. I mean, we'll see Andrew Reese go up with 3 straight putbacks on 2, 3 defenders just because what else are they gonna get?
Yeah.
But
Great
right
points.
now,
Sorry,
I
go
mean,
ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
would say
Go.
right now, it just the rivalry is that they don't like each other. The rivalry is that Angel Reese is the same caliber of player as Kaylin Clark, but she's not getting the recognition. I mean, that's for a
No,
real
they
reason. I
respect
mean,
each other though. They respect
yeah,
each other.
there's
Whenever they
real
talk
respect.
about
And
each other, it's never nothing bad said. They
yeah,
respect
they
each other.
played a year together. Like they probably text each other for all we know. Like, but there is an
Right.
on court competitiveness that like Angel Reese plays a lot harder when she's playing against other top talent in her class, and even when she's playing Caitlin Clark, she goes takes it up another level. She was really, really like at the end of the game. Like I was texting you guys about it. She was hitting some tough shots. Like there was an up and under that she hit through 2 defenders falling down away from the basket, and it just falls in. Like she's obviously taking it up another level when she's playing Caitlin Clark. I just want to see more of it going into the break.
Regarding the flagrant foul, and I really want to be a little serious, right? Because I always be playing. I'm gonna be a little serious. Yes, look, Angel Reese. I know I called you Lil Reese. It was a joke, okay? Chicago rapper, you hoop like you kind of look like a little bit. Okay, all seriousness, right? There was talk around Angel Reese being a thug because she fouled
Dude, that shit was
Caitlin Clark.
crazy.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely insane. That was a foul. The reality is that Angel Reese was trying to go for one of those like the tough like little brother blocks. You know when somebody trying to go, she
Yeah,
went
like
like that. That's what she did. She did that shit on it. That's what it was one of those. And she overestimated and she fouled her with the windup. I do understand the flagrant foul, but I'm gonna try it. There's no other way to slice it, right? When y'all are not y'all, is in the two of y'all,
yeah.
but when I say y'all, they know who I'm talking
they
about.
they know who
They
y'all
know
is.
who
Y'all know who y'all are.
when y'all are trying to say that Angel Reese is a thug, you're trying to replace it for a word that ends in an ER that we not gonna say. But we understand what y'all trying to do and we not for it. Stop calling a girl thug. It was a basketball play. It happens. People foul each other. People get up. They
I
didn't
think the
fight.
problem,
She
yeah.
didn't beat her up. It was a foul. A basketball foul. That's it. All right, now you back, Lil Reese. Let's go. What you got to say, Brandon?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, like, it's like the conversation becomes outside of basketball and like that. It's always like the American flag next to their name people and the header that are the ones that saying it. And and like it's clear what they're grifting towards and what they're trying to turn it into, but it's clear that like that Clark doesn't feel that way about it, and I don't understand why they do. They're making it so much more than what it actually is. They're turning it into a battle of like again. I don't want to get into that part of it, but it's turned into way more than basketball. When
The
it's
same,
all just it's all just basketball. Like
the
go watch,
same
you can
age
watch
old
that
tale.
same thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
You see the same thing happen in any NBA game, any prep school game, any little league game. People foul like that. It just happens. She wouldn't even. It was like I said, like it was, yeah, it was a flagrant by the rule, like it was a flagrant foul because of the rules, but it wasn't she wasn't flagrantly trying to foul her. It's ridiculous.
Bro, that was so normal. You could use that as an example of what a flagrant foul one is.
Yeah,
Like it's
Exactly.
like it's
it
just like,
wasn't
hey,
a
yeah, it was a basketball play, but you hit
yeah,
above the shoulders. All right, yeah, let's play ball though. Like, it's not
yeah.
people
I've
crazy, bro.
seen yeah,
People
it's
crazy,
not a
bro.
flagrant two. She shouldn't be suspended. Like it was just a good hard foul. That's it. Playoff push up type foul. That's it.
Yeah.
Uh now that we got that out the way, right? Let's talk a little bit about the offseason because it is around the corner in one way or another. Either
Yeah.
it's going to be the offseason is going to start after tomorrow night or sometime next week, but it's on the way. Um, Klay Thompson has unfollowed the Warriors on all their social media's accounts. He has removed almost all his Warriors content off his account, and he
Seen
back in the gym, and he looked like he got a point to prove. Um, And what you got to say about that? Is he still going to be a warrior? Is he gone? Is he out? Like, what? How do you feel?
honestly, I'm shocked. And I say that because like I get it of, Steph's still good, Draymond's still effective. You may want to see if you can get another one, but I think the part that's the most shocking about it is like, who are y'all getting for him? Because I feel like if he did all that, some phone call has been made. If he's unfollowed them, like he's some type of phone call has been made. Either he's been betrayed or he's just on like some super locked in, I'm coming back better than ever type stuff. It's one or the other. Because of him unfollowing them, it looks more like the first one, and it's kind of like y'all might be making a big mistake because it's one thing to get back in the gym and try to like reclaim your athleticism and stuff like that. Like that's way more difficult. Age could be a factor. Past injuries could be a factor. We talking about a jump shot. We talking about a dude we watch score without putting the ball on the floor.
Yeah,
Y'all really want to like? I'm take him till he retire. Like I'll let him come off the bench and be hitting the Mike Miller, the Kyle Korver, like how all the other shooters have been. No, I'm personally I'm keeping it. Out. Hey, you'll just have to come off the bench. If he ain't the same defender he used to be, it sucks. We need somebody off the bench anyway. Your job might change, but I don't know what the Warriors doing unless they get Zach LaVine. That's the only way it makes sense to me. Like if you I don't know. It's just like looking at what's available. I don't really see them being in the business of getting Paul George. So it's like, are y'all going for Zach for Klay? Then that's understandable. But what are y'all about to get for Klay?
I mean, this comes off like a huge negotiation tactic to me. I don't think I don't understand why would Clay would leave the Warriors. I mean, unless he's trying to get a big contract somewhere else, which, like, sure, go ahead,
Go out
try
with
it.
a
I don't know.
bang.
I don't know who's gonna pay him that kind of money. Like, And would he want to go there to try to be in somebody's like say he goes to the Magic, right? Was he going into a rebuilding situation? There's no guarantee that they're going to be better next year. There's no guarantee that I'm saying. So you'll be playing like for what? Like whereas with the Warriors, you're still playing with the organization you came in with. You'll be playing in the system, you'll be doing I feel the same about the Paul George thing. I think this is all just a negotiation tactic to get just a little bit more money out of them before signing the last contract before they ride off into the sunset.
I can see that. I see what you mean.
Like
So
it's just show him that he's like serious about like, hey, I will go some. I don't
Yeah.
trust off season. I don't trust season workout videos because everybody looks like a god who knows. I'm not believing
especially
that
Ben
we
Simmons.
exactly. That was
Hey,
gonna be my
nah.
number one example is that we see him
Hey,
doing all
that
these
ain't true
step
because
back
I
lay
warned
lanes and
y'all
all
about
that.
Julius Randle and Maxey. I warned you. I seen them boys working. Hey, you see what's going on now.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, I don't trust it. I don't trust it because I've seen Nick Young go bucket for bucket with Paul George in a 1v1, and then Nick Young came out to shoot like 30-something% from the field the next season. So it doesn't. And like those workout videos, yeah, okay, cool. We get to see him be working on his handle and all that, but no, no, it's all a negotiation tactic. They all look like gods in the practice arena against no defenders.
Yeah. To give some context, a little bit of light on the Klay Thompson situation, apparently based off of the rumors or like what everybody's trying to negotiate, it is 100% about leverage. Um,
Mm,
the contract, right? The Warriors do want him back, but they want him at a lower
discounted.
rate. You know what I mean? So Klay Thompson is looking at the deal Draymond got. Like, all right, like look, like y'all gave him 100 mil, give me that. Like he like that. And the Warriors are on a like, hey, we'll give you. I think it was like 48 million, so it's about half, right? So they're like, hey, we'll give you same years but half the money type deal. Based off of injuries, how he played last season, et cetera, et cetera.
But he
So
would still be eligible for like an extension or something like that, right? Like even if he took like it now and say he was a play up, like he'd still be eligible for them to like give him more the following year, wouldn't
yeah, but I mean he's getting older. You know,
he? Yeah, true. Yeah.
you like just the thing about the NBA players, right? Like in the NBA in general, you just never know when Father Time is gonna be like, come on, come on.
Yeah,
Like you just
true.
never you just never know when it's gonna be when you just don't got it no more.
And
Like
Father Time's here for Klay Thompson.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it looked like that, right? Um, and maybe he's trying to be like he trying to kick Father Time down the stairs or something. I don't know. I have no clue. Um, Speaking about Paul George, I think it's a great point to bring this up, right? Um, it appears that Paul George and the Clippers are from based off of everything that I've seen, they are miles apart on the type of money um, that they are thinking about. Of course, Paul George wants a max contract. Um, Maybe the Clippers don't feel like he deserves that kind of money, or not that maybe not that he don't deserve it. At least they just not gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
We also seen Paul George at the NBA Finals sitting next to
Joel
Joel
Embiid.
Embiid. He was having a conversation. Joel Embiid was like, "Hey, I don't know if we could get a little better and make some additions to the team." And turned back while Paul George sitting next to him. So maybe that's in play. I don't know. Brandon, you want to talk about Paul George? Elaborate.
Yeah, well, again, I think it's a negotiation tactic. He already has
Yeah.
that studio in LA set up for his podcast. He's trying to
Shout out to
like
Podcast P.
I think he I think he's trying to leverage that into a broadcast career after his career is over. To me, I think he's comfortable in LA. I think he's a Clipper legend. It doesn't make any sense for him to leave unless he's trying to chase a championship somewhere else, which I mean he's
Mhm.
free to do. He's in his mid 30s now, but this is also his final big contract. And would he rather be comfortable in LA or would he rather go and try to play in those Philly crowds, try to play in Orlando, like I don't even know where else he can go.
Playing in Philly
It's
is tough. Tough playing
Yeah.
in
exactly.
Philly.
Like they were
Imagine
saying, like
playoff
I heard
P
about a
in
sign and
in
trade with
Philly.
yeah, exactly.
He
Like
better
he
not
get
have
booed
a
off the
bad
floor.
playoff game in no Philly jersey, boy.
Like they just got off the Tobias Harris stuff. They obviously don't want Paul George coming in and stinking it up. Like they have a bad history of wings. I just like I mean the way they signed Kawhi and they're gonna try to sign James Harden, all this stuff. I think they're just gonna try to bring everyone back, and run it back again because they look pretty good for a while there. Um,
Yeah.
this season with those players. I think that's their highest negotiation tactic. Plus, I think that they can give him another year because he's resigning there. So, like I mean, if he's going again, he might be going for 30 million a year, which I mean, I don't know who's gonna pay him that kind of money. Um, like I don't know who's gonna pay him that kind of money, and then it also be a competitive situation.
Yeah, true. Huh? Man. Yeah. I still don't think he going nowhere too. Like I'm right with it. Like I don't see I feel like it's like you said, it's negotiation, him trying to get more money, but I feel like the Clippers are trying to like I feel like they're trying to make a move. And they're being real quiet about it, but it's like we want James, we want Paul George because the skills they bring to the table, they fit perfectly with whatever else they trying to bring in. And like I still think that the surprise with that team is gonna be that the only way they move Kawhi is gonna be for somebody, but I think they're going to be the shocking trade of the offseason of like they gonna move Kawhi for somebody nobody expected, and we gonna see how it work out for them. Because I still say what I think they should do personally.
Which is
I mean,
what?
I've seen. Oh my
Look,
fault.
I say get Zach, man. I say if you really that hard up on keeping James and PG, I say move Kawhi for Zach.
I'm gonna have to keep.
I
I'm gonna
feel
have
like
to
it's balanced
interrupt
on
you
both
here on
sides,
this
and I
Zach
feel like
Levine
Zach
stuff.
fits perfectly with them. I
No
feel like
way.
he fits just the two perfectly with James Harden and Paul George.
You're enacting some weird bulls hating me because Zach Levine sucks. And I'm telling you, as a Bulls fan, you do not want to. You're gonna be paying him way too much
Right,
money
right.
to try to act
He
for him
sucks, but when
for
that
him to
Bulls
not
team was
be
healthy, they were the best team in the East.
not
But
because of
he
him,
sucks.
not because of
All
him.
right.
It's never been because of him. Like Zach Levine is a black hole. Zach Levine has never ever played on a winning team besides one season in his entire career. I'm not like he's not the caliber of player of Kawhi. And as a Bulls fan, absolutely trade me Kawhi Leonard for Zach Levine. Yes, please. I'll take
He's
that
not.
right now.
He's not the
I'll give you.
caliber
You want
player as
some draft
Kawhi,
picks with that
but
too? You want Patrick Williams? You
he
want who else you want
definitely
with it?
can score. He definitely can score a lot of points playing next to James Harden and Paul George, no problem. Because I think the part that you forgetting is you thinking Zach Levine as the number one guy in Chicago. Yeah, he might not be a number one guy, but Zach Levine as the second, third option with Paul George and James Harden, your second, third best guy on Zach Levine. I don't see many second, third defenders stopping Zach Levine from getting 25 plus points. That's just me though.
I've seen it a million times. And I'm telling you right now, you're giving up on
Okay.
defense. You're giving up defense too on the wing, like doing that. Like you're going from Kawhi Leonard to Zach Levine. That's a significant downgrade, no matter what stage of the career they're at. Like
Kawhi didn't play very much for them last year. They kind of lost in the playoffs because he was hurt.
and
So I
Levine
mean,
hasn't
yeah,
played at all. He
yeah,
played like
you
30
would definitely
games.
keep a healthy Kawhi over him, but Kawhi hasn't been that healthy, and
Neither
that
has
would
Zach
be a
Levine.
reason for them to move him.
Levine played like 30 something games this season. And when he played, he wasn't very good or wasn't that effective.
Uh,
I don't. That's the reason why he wasn't traded midway through this season, and the Sixers went and got Buddy Hield instead. I just think that Levine is damaged goods. He's a negative asset. He's making way too much money to not be as to be the caliber of player that he's being paid to be. There was some arguments a couple years ago that he was up there with Booker and all that stuff. I just do not believe it. I do not like. I've seen him. I've been seeing him for the past 5 years. Levine is not that guy, and he's not going to be that guy. And any team trading for him knows that, which is why they're trying to trade him for pennies. Like, yeah, if any Levine trade is going to be, it's not going to be for what anyone expects. We're gonna, as a Bulls fan, we're probably going to get like a young player and like a young player who's not too great and some bad draft picks. And I feel like that's all it is. Like if anyone trading for Levine knows that he's not going to be your 2, 3, he might be your fourth best player, and he might spend some time on the bench later on in his career. It's just not his. It's not. He's not that guy. He's tried. They tried to force it and believe it. He was good as a number 2 option when he had a nice table setting point guard who can get him his points, and he could just his job was to run corner to corner.
When they had their whole team,
Yeah, when they had their whole team, but
he was scoring
they were
almost 30 a game. They was top team in the East.
that's 3 years ago now, man. I'm past it. I'm past it.
Nah, I can only
Um,
speak from what I saw him do healthy with a healthy team. That's what I saw him do healthy with a healthy team.
I've seen too many bad Levine Bulls moments for me to, and again, this is my Bulls bias coming out. I've never ever in the entirety of Zach LaVine being on the Bulls, I've never ever once thought that he was someone that we were going to be able to legitimately build around, and it has done nothing but ring true. That Bulls team was great. I think they were going to go far in the playoffs? Absolutely not. I don't ever think. I never thought that. I thought that they were. I thought it was. Now I'm not gonna call it fluky because the fluke isn't the right word for it. I just think that they were a nice regular season team. Their formula worked when you're not scouting them every single game.
You don't
That's
think
why the
that team
playoffs are
had a
so harder.
similar setup to this Boston team?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And then
Huh?
not at all because they didn't have the defense. They were running
They
this
had
3
Lonzo and
ISO
Caruso.
situation. Yeah, but who's playing center for him? We got Vucevic at center. We had Drummond off the bench. We had no way. There's just no way. Zero way. All of our wings were 6'5", were shorter than 6'5". We were playing
Y'all had
a
two of the
6'4"
best
power
perimeter
forward.
defenders in the NBA.
It was fluky. We had a 6'4" power
Lonzo
forward.
and Caruso or Fluky?
We had a 6'4" power forward. We had a 6'5" small forward plan. I don't that team is not the same as his Boston team because this Boston team has 2 all NBA players on it, 2 multi-time all-stars on
It
it.
was a similar setup.
I don't
It's a
think it
similar
is.
setup, and they had a shooting center. They had two amazing perimeter defenders, and they had two guys that were really good scorers. It's similar.
The difference to me is that everybody in this Boston team is a two-way player, whereas on the Bulls, only 2 players are two-way. That was the real difference to me. Like yeah, you could put
Yeah,
Caruso and Alonzo up at the top of that zone, and you get a lot of transition buckets based off of it and all that stuff. And it was a it was a winning formula for the time that it was. But this Boston team's a lot different in the fact that Derek White, Drew Holiday, are both two-way players. Like I think they're both better shot creators than Lonzo. I don't think they're neither of them are anywhere of the caliber of
neither
passer.
one of them
No.
shoot better than him.
Yeah, from a
Lonzo was
standstill,
shooting
sure.
40% before he got hurt. Neither one of them shoot better than him.
From a standstill, yeah.
Neither one of them
I
pass
don't,
better
but
than him.
I think they're better. I think those players are better scorers than Lonzo ever has been. And that there's no argument on that. Like Derek White has been a better scorer than Lonzo for his career. And he's been better this season. Probably his season this season is probably just as good as any Lonzo season ever. And I love Lonzo. I truly do. I don't even want the Bulls to get rid of him. I just don't feel like Levine is like I don't I think we're vastly overrating that Bulls team to try to compare him to this Boston team. This Boston team is legendary.
I didn't compare them. I said they're similar. They have a similar setup, which they do. Boston has better. Their scores are better. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are better than DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, but it's a very similar setup. That's why they were having so much success with it because they were able to get so many stops that they were scoring so much in transition. That's why that team was it's just the same style of play. That's literally what Boston's doing. They whoop everybody ass because they getting all these transition points. They get so many defensive stops. It's a very similar setup. It just didn't work out the same because Vooch is not KP. And that's really the biggest part that makes them different is that Vooch ain't KP. But outside of that, it was an extremely similar setup team. It's a very successful formula for a team if you can acquire those type of players.
I don't even think Vooch is Al Horford. Like I'm talking now. I'm just talking defense.
Before he got old, that he was better than Al Horford. So I mean, I don't know.
I
The
don't
whole
know.
time he was on the Magic, he's definitely was better than Al Horford when he's playing for the Magic.
I mean, Al Horford goes late into the playoffs for his career every year.
Yeah, Al Horford
Vooch
has
is
been
getting
on way
knocked.
better teams than Vucevic. Yes. Vucevic was still better than him when he was playing for Orlando. He's better as an
Vooch,
individual.
Vooch has been a negative asset since the moment we got. We
Yeah,
lost
when
it
he
on
got to
Franz
Chicago,
Wagner because
yes.
of
When
him.
he was old and bad, yes. But
He's not even old
when
though.
Al Horford was young and playing for Atlanta and was killing, and Vooch was playing for Orlando and was killing, Vucevic was better than him. Al Horford was on a better team.
Man, that's a hell of a take.
I guess.
That's a
I
hell
don't
of a
see
take.
how he averaged more points than him. Is it
So
really a hell of a
what?
take?
He played for the Magic. He of
That,
course who else
that's my point.
his number two was Evan Fournier. Of
That
course
was
he's
my
putting
point.
up points.
That was my point.
He's okay, but we've seen so many players put up good stats on bad teams and then go to good teams and then not be very good. Vucevic is still putting up numbers, but he's the worst. He's the least valuable player in the league right now. Those points,
Yeah.
rebound, assists, those are
Now.
counting stats. Those are counting stats. And those
Yeah,
counting
now,
stats,
yeah.
those are all just counting stat numbers because he plays minutes. Someone has to play the minutes in Chicago. Someone had to play the minutes in Orlando. To me, Vooch has vastly overachieved because he's never been put in a position where he's had any center on the team that's been anywhere near the caliber of player he was. And even such, this season, Andre Drummond was stealing minutes from him, closing out games like multiple
Because
times
Andre
throughout the
Drummond's a better
season.
rebounder and a better rim protector than him. And
Better
that's what
rebounder, better rim
Chicago needs.
protector. I mean, end of the day, Vooch
Is he
is not a
not?
very good player. No, I mean, yeah, rebound. Yeah, he's one of the best rebounders of all time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why?
But it's Andre Drummond that we're paying $2 million a year. We're paying Vucevic over $30 million. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. I agree.
That should not happen.
Yeah, I agree. But since he's been in Chicago, yeah.
I would say even on those Orlando teams, he was very mid. He only made one All-Star team. Very, very, very mid.
I don't know. Very versatile scoring big man when he was in Orlando.
But all right, man. Let's just leave it there for now. Maybe we could come back to this conversation in a couple weeks when we got the freedom to talk about more topics. Uh, but this conversation, I almost guarantee we will happen again. So bring your A game. I heard a couple of hot takes in this. I heard that can be seen as hot takes. Al Horford is not better than Vucevic at their peak, right? Is that? I just want to make sure I'm.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Conference
saying.
finals.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Conference
saying.
finals is a 66-win team, but no.
Also, what was it? There was another one. There was another hot take. Oh, that I heard Vucevic is the worst player in the league. I heard that.
Least valuable player. Least valuable player.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
least
call him the
valuable
worst.
player. Yeah, man, I heard a lot. We're gonna go back in the game tapes and we're gonna pivot back. I promise y'all, we are going to pivot back to the takes that was heard in this segment. But I mean, that's all we got. So we gonna close it out here. We appreciate y'all for watching and always pulling up to the Club WAM podcast. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Um, we on the road to 100 subs, then the road to 1 million. We go from 100 and we just gonna jump to 1 million. But we can't do it without y'all. So if you have like, comment, subscribe, share with your mama, share with your grandmama, share with your auntie, your uncle. Put it on. Do a cut. In your dog's like fur. Club WAM. To put it on there. I don't care. However you could do it. However you could share it. Get it out there. But yeah, man, that's it, man. We out of here. We will see y'all. Love y'all. Peace out.
Yeah.
Peace.